Welcome back to Treasure and Change. Today we're going to be coin roll hunting nickels. These are all customer wrapped rolls. There's $110 worth that I picked up at multiple banks, and I'm really excited to get into these. Because this is our first nickel hunt of the channel, I want to make sure that we're doing a little bit of educational content ahead of the hunt. So I will go over some of the things that we'll be looking for in this hunt. I'll show you examples. One of the examples I don't have that I would love to get is a Henning nickel. So many of you know what that is. If you don't, it's basically a counterfeit nickel, which is amazing in and of itself, because who's going to counterfeit nickels, right? If you're going to counterfeit, go straight for the $100 bills. But there's a very rich history behind a man of the last name Henning who went ahead and counterfeited a whole bunch of nickels and got caught by the FBI. And very interesting story. So I don't have an example to show you. I would love if there was one in here. Let's see. One of the things that I'll be doing, that I do whenever I want to memorize a new variety or something to hunt that I am not used to hunting, is I'll make a little piece of paper like this. So there's a couple varieties that I'll be looking for in the 1964 D nickel. As I'm going through these nickels, I'll pull aside any 1964D and I'll just stack them right on top of this piece of paper. At the end of the hunt, hopefully I'll have a lot stacked up, and then I'll just scope them all at once. I do put the page numbers here. This book is Strike It Rich with Pocket Change. It's one of the major resources for anyone who coin roll hunts. So I put the pages here. In the 1964D, there's a repunched mint mark that I'll be looking for. Circulated and uncirculated values are very high for this variety, so I hope to find one. Another thing you can find from the 1964D is a double die on the reverse, which is actually a pretty strong doubling, and that has a lesser value, but it would be really cool to find one of these because look at that doubling. So that's what I'll be doing. I have a couple little cutout pieces of paper like this. They'll be just up here off screen, and as I get them, I'll stack them. Let's quickly review some of the other things that we'll be looking for today. We'll be looking for key dates, semi-key dates, and modern key dates. The 1950D is the crown jewel with only 2.6 million circulated. Let's hope we find one of those. Very rarely do we run into V nickels, but they are out there. Let's hope to find them. We're also looking for buffalo nickels and silver war nickels, which we do run into fairly often. We run into one or two a box. Let's hope that we can keep that average up at a minimum. For those new to coin roll hunting nickels, war nickels are silver nickels that were made during the time of World War II when they needed the copper out of the nickels to make bullets. So they made them out of silver instead as the additional alloy. You'll be able to tell them apart because they have the mint mark on the back, on the top of the Monticello, instead of on the right hand side. So that's how you can tell, and that's what they are, 40% silver. We'll look for them. Sometimes we'll find coins that are stunners and we'll keep those. Sometimes we'll find modern painted coins and we'll keep those. Sometimes we find foreign coins, which I'm sure we'll find in this hunt as well. Okay, perfect. Let's get into the hunt. First things first, I did the magnet test ahead of time, and there's only one roll that had anything come up with the magnet, and that means it's most likely a foreign coin. I'm gonna guess it is Canadian, Honduran, or Colombian. Let's see what you guys guess. Put your guesses down in the comments. I'm gonna open it up and let's see what we got here. It is taped. It's, one more layer of protection when the customers do that. But let's see. Let's see what we have here. Oh, and it's popping right out. Wow. Don't have this one yet, I don't believe. This is 2016. I don't even know what this is. Aruba. And there it is. We magically flipped it up. And this is an Aruban 25 cents. It's nickel plated steel. Very cool. Add that to our collection. Didn't have that one yet. I'll go ahead and take these foreign coins off the board and we'll get into the hunt. We'll pull you in if we find anything. So immediately in that same roll that we had the coin from Aruba, we have here a 1948 nickel. Now, nickels last a lot longer in circulation than some other coinage. It's because they're so thick and they're just hefty. They're hefty coins. If you've heard of the nickel, then if you know, you know. But this is basically a hefty coin compared to other coins, so they last longer in circulation. So even though this is 1948, if we look at our red book, 1948 had a mintage of 89.3 million. So it's not entirely rare, but I do hold on to a lot of these, 1960 and earlier nickels. A lot of them have more varieties and errors and such because the older you go back in time, the less quality control they had, the less technology they had and such. So I do hold on to these. I'm not going to stop the video when I find them unless they're really like a semi-key date. We have ourselves another foreign coin. This is the Bahamas. So we've got Aruba, Bahamas. Okay, let's recap this search. So I have over here a jar that I keep. These are not rare by any means, but from 1968 to 1970, they actually produced nickels at the San Francisco Mint. So they bear the S Mint mark. Let's see if I can get this in focus for you all. There we go. You see that S Mint mark there? Those are San Francisco, but they're just general circulation. They're not proofs or anything like that. They're not NIFCs, so I keep them. I just think it's cool. Over here we have some nickels that we found from the 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s. The rarest of them is actually this one on the left. It's 1962 and it has 49.7 million minted. This one is a 1941D with 53.4 million minted. They're kind of slick. They're not in great condition. So I keep coins like that in this. I know it's not the best container, but it works for me. I pulled these aside as kind of educational. These are not special in any way. They're actually post-mint damage. Someone took a grinder, most likely, to these two, or they were in a laundry, right? This one, I believe, was a grinder because the other side is in great condition. So people get bored, they grind them. This one, I believe, was an acid job. Someone was playing around with things they probably should have been playing around with over here. So these, sometimes people see these and they're like, oh, it's a mint error, I'm rich. They're just people, bored people out there damaging coins. We have our two foreigns, Aruba, Bahamas. There were 3 dimes that were stuffed into rolls. We actually ended up on the overall hunt down 30 cents for some dimes, for some nickels that were shorted. We did find a 2009 P. This has a mintage of 39.8 million. So this was the lowest minted coin that we found. We find these fairly often, but they are getting more and more scarce as time goes by. These 3 I kept because I just thought they were in stunning condition. This one has a little bit of a blob here, which I don't love, but I just thought that they were stunners, so I kept them. And then lastly, I keep vials of the 2004 and 2005, the ones with the special design on the back. So this is a full tube. I don't need this one anymore, but there are some that I'm still looking for that I need to fill up. So I did find a couple of those, you'll see, that I've added, so I'll go ahead and add those to the tube. I think once we add these, we'll be full on this tube, so that's kind of exciting. But that wraps up the hunt. If you learned something, if you enjoyed, please go ahead, like, subscribe, share, turn on notifications, all that fun stuff. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one.